Everyone in the galaxy thinks we humans are strange, foolish, but truth be told, they think our biggest weakness is our heart. Meet Corporal Miller. Miller was no wealthy merchant. Burned skin mapped his jawline from a plasma leak on the mining docks. Dark, hollow craters sat under his eyes from working 3 consecutive double shifts. His hands always, well, they shook a little whenever he counted his remaining credits. Neon Sector 4 was expensive. The rent was choking him. He needed a place to sleep, and he needed it fast. That's when he found a listing in the underbelly of the city. Cheap rent. Dirt cheap. The catch? His roommate was a Xylar, an alien vampire. The other humans at the docks laughed when he signed the lease. Their minds were small. They only saw a monster. To them, a Xylar was a killing machine that drained its prey in the dark. Miller walked into the cramped apartment alone. Thick gray dust coated his heavy boots. His breath dragged heavy in his chest. The air inside the dark room bit into his lungs like shards of glass. The sharp stench of old copper and ozone hung thick in the air. In the shadows of the corner sat Malika. His skin was pale, almost translucent, and a wet, rhythmic clicking echoed from his mandibles as he bared 2 rows of razor-sharp fangs. His 4 eyes stared out like empty, bottomless pits. Malika hissed, his long, clawed fingers scraping against the metal wall like rusted metal. You do not fear me, human? You are nothing but a sack of warm fluid to my kind. The neighbors in the hallway waited for the scream. They thought Miller would drop to his knees. They thought he would beg for his life. But then, Miller did something that turned the entire room dead cold. He didn't run. He didn't pull a weapon. Instead, he unbuckled his heavy tool belt, tossed his worn jacket onto the floor, and sat right down at the small kitchen table. His shaking hand became, suddenly, perfectly still. He pulled a frozen, plastic pack of synthetic blood from his supply bag, slapped it onto the table, and looked Malika straight in his 4 dark eyes. He didn't look at him like a monster. He looked at him like a guy trying to pay the bills. He looked at the towering vampire and said, "Look, I don't care if you sleep in a coffin or drink the red stuff. I pay my half of the rent on the 1st of the month. You don't touch my rations, and I don't touch yours. Humans don't scare easily when they're working 60 hours a week. We fight for survival, even if we have to share a kitchen with a nightmare." He opened his datapad and started calculating his shift hours, completely ignoring the predator staring at his neck. Alien logic shattered right there on the floor. Malika's mandibles went completely still. For centuries, every species that encountered the Xylar brought silver, ultraviolet weapons, or absolute terror. No one had ever just brought a lease agreement. No one had ever looked past his hunger. Later, the galaxy learned that Miller didn't just survive the lease. He and Malika became the most efficient team in the sector. When a gang of blood smugglers tried to break into their apartment weeks later, Miller didn't flinch. He grabbed a heavy metal pipe and stood shoulder to shoulder with his roommate, proving that humans don't care what species you are, they just protect the one who shares their roof. The aliens still sit in their high towers, texting, trying to find the logic behind how a fragile ape domesticated an apex predator over cheap rent. But truth is, humans are just built different. The night is getting late. So, what do you think? We humans really are strange, aren't we?